Tonight's show, we're talking about humanity's next chapter, and I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like a Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table. No, you still like to summon your end table that you lives too.
My God, you're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if she's showing me flowers, like relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
There needs to be a connection with like a Native American ancestry. And they're showing me a turquoise stone. Yes.
I just went to a Native American dance class and I wore this stone.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Camera's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won! You won!
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk shit, repeat shit. I'm living it.
In harmony with nature.
Good evening, beautiful souls. Happy Thursday Night Live. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How y'all doing? How's y'all week been? I am now 44 as of Monday. So, like usually like every year, just a new birthday, you're just like, yeah, whatever. You don't really feel much difference, but something like clicked, I guess, this year, I guess for my birthday. Something clicked as far as like really wanted to like, I don't know, maybe the determination factor has like amped up for me at some point. So I don't know. So, but Chris was talking about something in Neptune or Pluto. I don't fucking know what planets where, doing what in my chart. But, so yeah, I have more of a focus, some have been saying it's kind of like a, midlife crisis type of energy. And I'm like, well, I don't necessarily feel that, but I feel like a shift or change or want to like reflect back and say, look, I've grown, and so it's been interesting. So those who wish me a happy birthday, thank you for that. It's also my sister's birthday, Lisa, in the chat too. So 2 Aquas, isn't that funny? I'm on the 2nd, she's on the 5th. I just turned 44. She just turned 55. So happy birthday to my sister Lisa. Give her a happy birthday too. And Iggy just turned 66. Actually, no, just kidding. But Iggy was giving me like the scoop of like this year, turning 44. So there's a lot of Aquas around here. But so it's an interesting week. The week has been, I'm tired of saying heavy because there's been just heaviness going on, but I feel more motivated, or I feel more optimistic about the collective future, right? I've always felt this way. I've always kind of predicted this, but I'm seeing it more so as far as it tangibly, like people really kind of opening their eyes, people really speaking up, people really feeling, the change that needs to be. So I'm starting to like see that happening more and more within people, which is a wonderful thing too. So I think that's awesome. So it's nice to see that. So it's not so much I feel, I've always felt it because I knew kind of where things are shifting and why things are going to be happening the way they have been happening, but where we're going, I'm starting to see people seeing the same things or at least taking charge. So I think that's awesome too. So, but anyways, before we get into it, let's see who's Chatty Cathy on in the room here. The topic's not going to be majorly long either. So I'm going to do a simple night tonight. So if you want to get your questions in, get them in now soon, because I probably will just be wrapping things up if you don't get them in now. But Alma Ford, good to see you. Welcome aboard. My mom and dad, Dave and Jennifer Cruz, are very loyal watchers. So thank you for coming in. Like, what do I say? Darby Mabry, good to see you. Yes, my birthday was good. It was, what? Someone asked me, like, what did you do for your birthday? Did you celebrate? I'm like, yeah, I didn't do anything. Just my partner gave me cake, got some cards, got some phone calls, and that was that. Had some pizza. So that was all I needed. So and that's what else do you want for 44? I've become more domestic. I've become more like a hermit. Our wonderful mod Nina is in the room. So if you guys, again, like I said, get your questions in now. 50 for card poll, 20 for one question, 30 for two questions, and 40 for live video. And the PayPal and Venmos are in the link below, description below. So if you have any questions, our wonderful mod Nina will be able to assist if you need to get that in. Okay. And Iggy, thank you. Happy belated birthday, bro 44. Uranus opposite your Uranus in early July 2026 and late April 2027. What the hell does that mean? What does that mean for me? What is that going to bring? What is that going to do? Do we need to warn people now before I explode and, become feisty, even more feistier than what I already am? Brenda's what? Good to see you. Noah Way, my sister from another list. Good to see you. Lynn and Jane, hello. Welcome aboard. Sacred Blueprints, good to see you. Allie Taylor, good to see you as well. Like I said before, my sister from the same Mista's in the room. Hi all. Birthday girl today too. She is. Pamela Johnson, good to see you. Sally Jesse, Sydney Aaron, my sister from another list, is good to see you as well. Iggy, can't you see it and do a proper introductory? Abby Coe, hello. Julie Fox, good to see you as well. Excited to have you here for the show as well. You're excited for the show? I'm excited to have you here. Catcher's Oracle Magic, good to, thank you of the birthday picks. Should we talk about the birthday picks? Every year I feel like I have to do, especially I release a song, so I'm like, I shoot new promo pictures, update pictures, for my websites and all that stuff. So that's what those are for. It's not a vanity project, although I do like to kind of prove something to people who say that I always encourage people to be the best selves of them, so I could show people like I am still being the best version of myself too. So but yeah, so every year, especially when I release new music, I have to do new promo pictures and update sites, and that's all that's about. So sorry if your feeds were bombarded by Scott Cruz pictures. As you know, I'm not one to post many pictures of myself usually. Sometimes depends if I'm out at Lake Tahoe. But yeah, but all you guys who are watching, welcome aboard. Those who are new, I do start with a collective read. And with that collective read, I do use tarot and oracle cards. I don't need to because I'm a psychic medium, but I like to use those for purposes of this, for collective purposes. I already kind of a gist to, kind of walking into this show, what I want to talk about, but we'll see how the cards kind of lay it out for us here too. So give me a couple seconds now. Let's shuffle these cards, shall we? Let's shuffle duffly. All right, because we have a lot to unravel, I would say, for 2026. When I say unravel, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's going to be a lot of discovery this year, a lot of innovation, a lot of finding one's place, right? So that also means those who are participating in negative things and participating in things that are destructive and chaotic, they'll find their chaotic place, right? And so almost like reaping the rewards, in a sense, of their actions. And I would say that also with those of us who've been working in the positive sense, reaping a lot of our rewards of our actions as well this year too, because we didn't really see much of this the past 2 to 3 years, not much, right? And so it's been just a lot of karmic overload, a lot of karmic resolve, a lot of karmic cycles that have been closing. So we had a lot of work to do in ourselves individually and collectively, so there hasn't been much time for people to really excel because of that. But this is what this time is now for, is because now we've done that work collectively, even and as well as individually. So now it's time for us to kind of expand, to blossom, to accelerate, to excel, to expand, all the great words, right? Okay. He says, that means Scott will go into 12D and manifest his twin flame in 555,555,000 whatever million in his bank account. Well, I already have my twin flame, so I already got that. Right? So, and we'll just take maybe a couple of fives off of that. And that's what I have now. I think I didn't really read it so well. All right, let's just shuffle these cards. I'm very, very relaxed today, guys. So I'm not I might get fiery. Who knows what comes out of this? But I feel very chill, if you guys can tell. Maybe even sloppy. Who knows? So, okay, let's see here. And let's shuffle these oracles too. Okay. Yeah, I'm on 12D, guys. So can y'all catch up to my 12D? So silly. Iggy and I love to I've always scoffed at the cliches of the spiritual communities. Such nonsense. The grifting, the manifestation. Oh my god, I manifest that. What about other people who don't manifest? How they get their success just happens. If you mean manifest, like you thought about something, you were strategic, put your action to it and worked hard at it and it was aligned to your purpose, then yeah, then if that's what we're going to call manifestation, then yeah, you manifested it if you think of that context. But okay, give me a couple seconds. I'll tune in and start this collective read. Okay. Are you guys prepared? And that was kind of the message, the word I heard before starting the show about preparation. And not preparation like those who are like stocking up for World War II or stocking up for, World War III, because we already had two. But people who are like, stocking up and preparing for like the end all, be all, the Armageddon. Not that type of preparation. But are you prepared to welcome in the new chapter? And that new chapter could be the new relationship, could be the new job, the new career. We got to break it down by people's, interests of why they are seeking self-help, right? Are you prepared for that new version of you? And so let me de-cliche that a little bit about the new version of you, because a lot of things that we've done, a lot of things we're having to do now is purge and to declutter and somewhat fragment ourselves so we can be objective enough to realize these are components or pieces in my life that are causing a disarray, that are causing an imbalance, or causing things to become disharmonious. So those things I'm going to have to take out and remove. And those things, of course, could be people, relationships, careers, all that great stuff, right? This is what preparation is, because in order, not preparation H, again, we do want to use somewhat in preparation, it's like cause, some swelling to go down a little bit. So yes, in that sense. But as far as preparation for the fact that we need the space and energetic space, intellectual space, spiritual space, the physical space to allow the new to come in. And so if you're constantly intertwined in relationships that are, back and forth, not so consistent, or relationships that are very imbalanced, relationships that are not so giving or not so, give and take in that sense, or relationships that are just very depriving, then you're not going to have room for someone else to come in and to meet and match with your life. They're going to be in the way perhaps. And you won't even have the perception or awareness to realize they're even there or coming in. Right. And so I always tell people as well, like if we're in our head over a stupid relationship that we should not be involved in, and we're just like, if it's a relationship or a situation, whatever the case is, put it to your own, your experiences, you're in your head about some sort of anxiety that doesn't need to be. That's not really bringing value, though. But you're constantly processing it. You're in anxiety mode. So you go out to the grocery store. You're just in your head, just trying to like get things done. Meanwhile, there's someone checking you out that you don't notice because you're just in your head. And so the person kind of walks on and get your attention, walks by, and you're like, who's this creep looking at me? Right? And the person's charming and just wants to like flirt, and you're just like, ugh, and you move on and go amongst your day. And then you complain about, why am I single? Why have I not met a love of my life? Why have I not met anybody? Why am I alone? And it's like watching the television, and they call the psychic up, and then the psychic Scott tells you, well, you missed someone today. Someone's checking you out today. And you completely avoided it because you're in your head. By the way, this actually happened to one of my clients. So, and she goes, get out of here. And I said, yeah. Was he kind of wearing like, kind of blue jeans and just like a blue shirt or whatever? She's like, yeah. I said, yeah, that person was trying to get your attention. He was actually a really cool person. And you were holding your head and you'd be kind of an ass, because you're in your funk. So, oh my God, did I just miss an opportunity? And say, well, you pass up on that opportunity, but there may be many more that can come into your experience. So it's like, I would say opportunities like a conveyor belt. How ready are you to reach and to grab what's coming off that conveyor belt? So, again, that's the preparation. So you can't go amongst your life and your walk of life and be in depriving relationships, have an attitude, reveling in anxiety, and wondering why you're single, why you're not meeting anybody. First aspect is, one, who's going to want to intertwine with you if you're full of anxiety? Who's going to want to mingle with you if you're congested with all this other shit in your life? Who's going to want to intertwine with that? Not many people, especially not the good ones. And then also, if that's one aspect. Another aspect is you're not even realizing what's around you because you're so stuck in your head. So that tells you you're not prepared to welcome in these things that you are so desiring in your lives, that you want, that you're trying to manifest, that you're spending all this money on to figure out when's it coming in? What do I do to get what I want? And we're saying this is the one thing you have to do is prepare for it. Are you prepared? Are you ready? so many people, I mean, it's more so my rookie years of being a psychic. I was getting the calls of, when's my boyfriend coming in? Is my boyfriend coming back? Like all that stuff. Am I going to be famous? Like all that shit in the beginning. Like that's kind of like when you're a rookie psychic, you have to go through that shit for a while. And oh my God, I was over it. Within 6 months, I was over it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't be doing this all the time. Of course, now it's different. I have deep sessions, in comparison. But those people they all had one thing in common. They were doing not a goddamn thing. They were not even participating in their lives. They weren't ready for it. They were not entertaining. They were not entertainable in a sense as well, insatiable. And they would just show up and I was watching even, if you go watch these old episodes of like Blind Date, which has been showing up my YouTube algorithm for some reason. I've been so fascinated in these bad dates. And there's a lot of these people who sit there just like, I'm so bored. Like they're not even trying to engage. Like, oh my God, they're boring. I'm like, no, you're boring. You're showing up like, like insatiable, like you don't even know what you want to be impressed by, and so those are people who are definitely not ready for what they say they want because they're not bringing anything to the table. And so that's part of being prepared. That's part of also being ready. Are you ready? Are you refined enough to show up, to mingle and intertwine with what you say you deserve that you want? And many people are just not. And that's why there's a time scale on things. That's why things don't always happen now, because there's a lot you have to learn and grow on. But if you allow yourself to focus on that emphasis of like, okay, let me get myself ready. It doesn't have to take years on end to be ready for something, but let me start the process. Let me start clearing out this bullshit just that I'm holding on to just because I don't want to be alone, or the stuff I'm holding on to just because I'm afraid of not having that job, right? Or afraid of not having money. Let me just take a little bit of risks here in a reasonable, rational way, so I actually can make space and start a progress toward what I'm wanting. And so that's what 2026 is really about, which I've been saying. So this is going to be kind of repetitive from the last 2-3 weeks, but just kind of getting a little bit more of a different perspective on, preparedness and being ready and what that looks like. What does that mean? And so right now we have to start, waiting on things. We have to stop waiting on things and start allowing ourselves to say, I planted seeds. How am I nurturing these seeds? And a lot of times we think about nurturing the seed is like we're just sitting there being patient, waiting for it. Well, we have to nurture it by being a different person, by allowing ourselves to grow too, allowing ourselves to express ourselves in different ways that we haven't before. Getting our heads out of the gutter. Stop watching the same things that you're watching all the time that frustrate you, that you can't tolerate. And so these are things we have to really consider when it comes to being open and ready, prepared for the new to come in. And so again, you want that wonderful person that's good looking, that's, has a great heart, all these things to offer. You better bring the same thing up to the table too, because you're not meeting that, you're not giving it. So let's keep it simple, stupid. Right. So, and so, and the justice card too is all about being fair to yourself. I mean, so that's kind of really coming out too, in a sense of, understanding if you were to put yourself in the court, a spirit opinion, and you go to court saying, Judge, I deserve this relationship. And the judge says, okay, but what have you brought to the table that gives you that in return? What would you think that judge would tell you? Are you personable? Are you caring? Are you loving? Are you communicative? Are you expressive? Same thing with the job situation, whatever the situations are. Are you providing what the value that you said that you'd want? And so again, it's so simple. We have to think about ourselves, take a step back and say, am I being fair here for myself? Am I being fair to somebody else to say, like, this person that I think is so wonderful, so beautiful, so awesome that they deserve to be with me? Am I being fair to them? Like, am I giving the same return? Or am I just sitting back saying, take care of me, entertain me? Right? And it's the same thing. I find people who are critical of other people's looks who are not so good looking themselves. I see this a lot. I'm like, really? Like, this person's critiquing their looks who is actually a beautiful person, and this person's just really not good looking at all. So we have to understand what we're putting out is what we're feeling inside, what's going on internally and subconsciously, and what we're not resolving. And we need to be very conscious of those things, start purging those behaviors, right? Purging those opinions, and start growing and making room and getting ourselves ready to be prepared to show up. And to show up. So, and I mean, we're seeing a lot of that now in our society, especially with hypocrisy. And I've been saying, and this is not all, but in my experience, 90% of radical Christians are the most hypocritical people I have met in my entire life. So it's not all. I'm going to say it's not all. So the 10% of Christians, you're good people. right? You're not talking about you. I'm talking about the 90% of others, because I've grown up in the Christian environment, and we see it now in our environment because Christians are very loud about gay lifestyles and trans lifestyles and cross-dressers and all this stuff, but yet murder, no, silent. Pedos, no, we have nothing to say about it, just silent. No memes on their pages anymore, right? So we have to start looking at this and say to ourselves, am I being a hypocrite? Am I saying I deserve something that I don't even show up for myself? Or am I demanding of things in my life that I am not actually doing for myself? And so we have to start asking ourselves, are we becoming a match? Are we actually a match to what we say we want? And are we being hypocritical to ourselves? And of course, amongst with other people as well. And so a lot of that's getting exposed, especially in our government, hypocritical government, right? Hypocritical leaders. It's like almost like every week or every 2 weeks, I just see it like a religious pastor or religious person or, conservative person getting arrested for child molestation or child porn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing so much all the time. And it's like, those are the ones that are always preaching, but they're very silent now, right? And so we have to understand how we cannot be so wrapped up in our beliefs that it causes us to be a disservice to ourselves. We just start becoming very hypocritical in nature in our walk of life. Blinded to the fact that we're not actually allowing ourselves to be objective and critical thinking to how we're behaving and asserting ourselves in life and humanity. Because for some reason, I feel like, religion is like, I don't know what it does to people. It gives them the inability to critically think. It's like same thing with some of these spiritual communities. Like they lost their ability to critically think. And many people put all that emphasis and critical thinking into other people instead of themselves, and this is why we have the shit we have today, and why we have what we have up on pedestals leading our country today, and leading our worlds today. So that's just a reflection. Those of you who think the current administration is narcissistic, we all, with our energy, put a narcissist up there. Why did we do this? Because everybody's been so focused on and so self-absorbed within themselves. So this administration is a result of how we have not evolved and grown as a species. We've all been focused on me, what's best for me, right? Demanding of others what you don't show up for yourself. This is a manifestation, what we're going through right now, of what we've done as a collective species. Okay? And so forget about the individual people. Look at the spiritual circumstances we are in. This is why we're in it. So until we start focusing on people need to be, let people live, and let people, let live and let be people in that sense, and understanding that who gives a fuck if you don't agree with how someone else lives? It's not your fuck. Live your own goddamn life. What does it to your opinion matter? They have an opinion too. They think you're a piece of shit. So who wins here? No one wins. We all win if you just say, shut the fuck up, live and let live, and do what's best for all. Right? And this is the harsh lesson that the past 6 years has been trying to teach us as a species. Many people are getting it. Many still aren't getting it. Okay? It's funny because before this, I saw there's this comedian who created this like fake website about like how to report illegal immigrants or illegal people, right? A hotline and people to call in, and it's totally fake. And so he kind of posted a couple calls that people did, and there was this one woman with her neighbor saying, I don't know, she's very suspicious. I don't think he's from this country, but he owns his house, but he's never here. What is he doing? And when he goes in the garage, like the light's always on. What is he doing? And so I'm like, lady, what do you care? And she goes, I think you need to look into this. I don't think they're from this country. So again, they did some research. The person's from this country. They have multiple homes. And that guy in his, garage actually creates like school supplies, rulers and stuff for schools and so forth in that case. And so she's like, I don't believe you. And she got all mad. And the guy was like, shouldn't you be glad that they're a documented citizen and they're actually doing something really, really good? I don't believe you. I'm not happy. And so that's an example, I'm saying, of a majority of what has affected this country, of this world, this planet, people like that. Lady, who the fuck are you? He owns his property. Who are you to think that because you have a certain idea about something, and he doesn't need to? And she's like, I don't know. I can't see what he's doing through his windows. It's like, are you serious? Like, there's a lot of people like this, and not so much on that grand scale of things, but on the lower scale of things, there are people that are so concerned about how people choose to live their lives. And it's like, let it go and focus on your own. Because if you start focusing on your own lives, and I'm just even talking about empaths here too, because I know a lot of you guys watching are not that nature, but a lot of you guys are so concerned and consumed and caring of other people so much, you're so empathetic that you're not focusing on your own lives. And your lives is going to the wayside. Okay, so you have to start asking yourselves, like, what is the ratio? Are you ready? Because if you're, again, focusing on everybody, you're not ready for anything else coming that's going to be wonderful, joyful, expressive, expansive for you, because you're just either going to miss it or you're going to push it away, or it's going to irritate you. As I've seen many times in a lot of my clients who have been pushing away, but they're just like, what are we going to do to manifest a lover? It's like, first you got to like become a person that's likable. Okay. And I think, again, when we get so consumed in the me, I need, this is why we have, again, this environment we have now in our society. But a lot of us have been vocal about this. A lot of people are starting to become more vocal about what's best for humanity, what's best for the collective societies and so forth, and moving forward for all people, that people are getting louder about this now. So it's starting to resurrect that type of, spiritual and energetic and intellectual, movement in a sense, or revolution in a sense. And so, and there's a lot of people who, are conservative that feel the same way. So please don't think conservative, liberal, or some sort of separation. A lot of conservative people, friends I have, are like that too. Yeah, live and let live, live and let be. I just want to protect your family. Great, protect your family. But not everyone has the same family you have. Everyone wants to have. Not everyone has to develop the family the way you envision your family. Some people have envisioned family differently. So let them do it the way they want to do it, right? And so this is a humanity thing. It's not a left-right thing, not a conservative-liberal thing. It's a humanitarian thing. And this is what the Age of Aquarius is bringing. This is what the next chapter of humanity is. The Age of Aquarius is all about humanitarianism. Focus on the collective. And a lot of what you can do to help the collective is just shut your fucking mouth. No one cares about your opinion, about your fucking religions, about your spiritual beliefs. No one cares. That's yours. Keep it to yourself. As they will have theirs, they should keep them to themselves as well. Okay? Because I got so sick and tired of the society exploiting like minorities, like gay people and trans people. Like it was such a small percentage of population. Like somehow that's a detriment to the evolution of society. It's like, because gay people have parents, somehow they're going to well, then just going to create more gay kids. I don't know. My parents were not gay. My parents are straight. And most gay people come from straight parents. Did that rub off on them? Did straightness rub off on them? No, it didn't. So gayness is not going to rub off on children. So we're exploiting such minority, so not important issues because we're so concerned about someone else's doing versus the collective. And this is what we have to think about. This is what also those who agree need to speak up against it too. Because I think once we start doing so, then people start feeling more comfortable. People start feeling like they are accepted. You don't know how many people I talk to don't feel accepted in society. I talk to a lot of people that don't feel this way. I get so many people from different walks of life. And they're afraid to do little things because they're going to be judged. I'm like, but by who? And why does the people judge you matter? Why does their opinion matter more than your opinion? See, this is what we have to prepare ourselves for, is to be open and say, I don't care if I'm the only one with this opinion. If it feels true and right from my heart, I'm standing on it. Because you might think you're the only one, but then when you start becoming so confident and sure in it, you start meeting other people who feel the same way and realize you're never alone. I know it sounds cliche too, you're never alone, but it's true, because if you think something, there's got to be hundreds of millions of other people that think the same way. And now we can see that with online. You see there's a group for everything online. So if you think you're alone, go type in a group that feels something that feels the way you do. There's a Reddit group or some sort of Discord group that has the same hundreds of thousands of people with the same thing, right? So one of the main things, the main aspects of being ready is being comfortable with you. Being comfortable about where you're at today, but understand where you're at today doesn't have to stay where it's at, but where are you going from here? Clear out the bullshit. Right? And don't let that be on a continuous loop, so then you don't have any room to welcome such great things in your life. And so that's about being prepared. So, the next chapter for humanity's next chapter, this is where we're going to, guys. Okay? And so I've talked about this a lot, but we're moving more toward a religion that is where spirituality is more unified. Religious ideologies start breaking down, become very almost like an archaic way of being and thinking. So even religions will start to evolve. even still, and become more unified spiritually. Because if you're spiritual, shouldn't it all be unified? Why is it, even with Christianity, there's so many denominations that fight against each other's denominations. What the fuck is that all about? Aren't you all worshiping the same Jesus? Right? It's because it's bullshit. And so the same thing with spirituality. It's become you're unified. That is where we're going next. That's our next chapter. But it's easier because like we all can actually agree on the same similar basis, right? Of respect. Simple things you grew up with. Respect one another. Treat others as you wish to be treated. Yada, 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 right? And so, but we're actually, as a whole, embracing those ideas. We're embracing those sentiments now instead of just hearing it, wishing it. We're all kind of practicing it now. That's the next chapter. So that definitely means a lot of systems will be falling, as I've predicted decades ago, that governments are crashing. We're starting to see it now. Financial systems are crashing. Everything's going to have to be rebuilt. So we need to also be ready now for when things get rebuilt. What do we really need? And how do we want it to look? And who are we trusting? Right? And so we can't all of a sudden now, because, people are so dissatisfied with the right, now we all of a sudden swing all the way to the left either. You can't do that either, because you shouldn't trust anyone because they have a different package. You got to look at saying, what are they saying? What's their consistency? What's my discernment on this? Because now all of a sudden everyone's jumping straight to the left now. We can't trust the left either. You can't trust them just because they're left because the right's fucked up. Like, can we stop thinking this way? So we got to be very discerning and ready to understand. Let me scan someone. Here, there might be a person on the right that's actually has great values for all. And then there might be someone on the left who doesn't. And so we need to start breaking that out to get ready for this next chapter of saying, it's not going to be so polarized. I might vote red, blue, green, in the middle. Like, that's what we should be doing. It's the person. It's the stance. Okay? Instead of lumping everything in as some sort of friggin' sport. Because that's going away. That's breaking down. And so, but this is all going to be exposed. And so we have to be prepared for that next chapter. And so there will be more access to technology. There will be more access to extraterrestrial connection. There'll be more of that energy accessible to us. We're not supposed to be afraid of that. We're supposed to embrace that and welcome that, because that is what's going to help us to evolve, to become more spiritual, to be more creative, that we're not bound by such density, and technology will help us with this. But like everything, there's a duality. There's going to be a positive and negative to all that, just like there's a great positive for this connectivity of social media or internet and how we have it now. But there's downsides to it too, but we have to understand what it is. We don't reject it just because there's a downside to something. Because the upside could be massive to our growth as a species and also individually. So this is where we have to start thinking. This is how we start getting prepared for. And we have to also understand these systems that are breaking down are political, religious, all these ideologies that have just been so separating and, that we're now seeing has been creating a lot of chaos. People have been hiding behind the guise of government, hiding behind the guise of, religion. I'm starting to realize, so I can't really buy into that shit either. So is that even real either? So now we're even breaking down beliefs and ideas and ideologies and so forth, which we need to right now. So we say, what do we really need now? What do we really feel now? What is really true for us now? Right? And so that's on the global scale. So we're actually, unconsciously and subconsciously, the spirit knows, soul knows that collectively we are getting ready and prepared for this massive change, this massive shift. And we knew that we needed disruption, as we have now, to get us there. So again, when we're playing chess, you don't hold on to the pawns and the pieces and like, but I'm holding on to this. You use that piece to move to make your decisions to win the game. So same thing here. Don't hold on to the pawns of government, the pawns of religion. Let it go. They're your puzzle piece. Understand where you're going ahead with your consciousness, with your spiritual essence, with your intellect. They're tools for you to realize, that's not mine either. I'm getting rid of this. This is not mine. I don't believe that either. This is not best overall. So we can succeed in moving forward. So this is the next chapter that we're facing, both on the individual level, but also collectively. And so there'll be a lot of people that, diversity has become such a political, sensationalized word, diversity, right? But what does that really mean if you really think about it? And in hindsight? Like, what diversity? What does that mean? Does it mean, gay people have the right to be gay? Because people think diversity, they just go to the LGBTQ for some reason. It's like, can you please stop involving us in your fucking processing? We're so sick and tired of you, like, using us for everything. Okay? All we were expressing as the gay community is just like, we wanted to be left alone. Let us do what we want to do, live our lives. We want to stop fighting us and let us live, right? That's all we want. Stop including us into all the shit. And so yeah, and the gays will fight back too. And there's others out there that are extreme that are annoying too, right? But diversity just means that everyone has a unique expression. That's what creativity is. That's what creation is, right? Look at the diversity in the insect species, in the animal community. Look at the array of different species, array of different insects, the array of different patterns and shapes and colors within the floral, the flora, and I was going to say fauna and flora, but within our plants and with our environments, within our a planet, there's so much diversity that's in creation. So if you really want to be spiritual and go back to God is all about that diversity of creation, which means, do you think people are supposed to be all the same? Do you think people are supposed to like get married, have a job, and have kids and do that whole thing? Do you think that's diversity of creation, that human has to have the same exact walk of life? Because the people are like, it just makes it uncomfortable to see gay people. It's like, well, that's creation. That's diversity of creation. That every human is going to have a different walk of their life as insects, as everything else is reflected in creation. So if it makes you uncomfortable, no one cares about you. You're just one little speck in this whole process of evolution. No one cares about your uncomfortability. And I'm the type of person, I would love to make you more uncomfortable until you snap out of your bullshit haze. But every human has a different expression. We have different colors, different hair color, different eye color, different height, sizes, right? Different. So there's a variety. That's what diversity is. It's just a different, unique expression for each being, right? Each perspective, each level of consciousness. So that means there's people going to talk differently than you, live differently than you. And I can't believe we have to even say this to adults in 2026. There's people that are different than you. No shit, Sherlock. Let them be, right? So, but the message of this is there's going to be an infiltration of us needing to understand that diversity, because you're going to change as well. You're going to evolve as well. You're going to find things within yourself that you didn't realize you want to participate in or express. And so that's going to have to come out of you as well. So this is where we're heading, right? And so I love this time now because like things are, this feels good to me. I feel very, very good about 2026. Like even though it's so chaotic, it's like showing so much, right? I feel like the souls that have, that were killed in the ICE shootings too, or, those souls incarnated to make a difference, basically as a sacrifice to bring awareness, right? It fueled people, right? To look at things differently, right? For both sides to start being objective and start talking about what is fair, what's not fair, to wake people up to certain things, right? Which of course made some change. So, and it's not about whether or not you think someone deserved it or not. And I think that argument is so stupid and unintellectual. Like, well, they put themselves in the wrong situation. It's not about that. It's about, is this how life should be conducted right now? Is this what we're experiencing right now? The tone that we are in right now is the tone we should be in right now. Not defending right now, well, they should have known. They should have put themselves in that situation. Is that the tone we should be in right now? About someone losing a life, about someone being harassed by whatever, or someone just being upset about the climate that we're into politically? Is that the tone we're supposed to be in? So the next time you start trying to defend your politics, ask yourself, is this the right tone though we're supposed to have? And when we start thinking about this, then guess what? Things will start changing. We'll start being more open to changing ourselves, our perspectives, our opinions, and all that great stuff. And we'll evolve. We'll move forward. We'll see through things. We'll be more kind. We'll let things go. And we'll start realizing we've been so encumbered with stress and anxiety because of what we think other people should and shouldn't be doing, that we're just like free of that burden. And then we allow in what we know we want for ourselves to come in because we're being our true selves. We don't have a stick up our asses the whole freaking time. Which many people do. It's like a stick up their ass. It's like, Jesus, calm the freak down. Like, we're all going to die. We all have a short lifetime here to live. Why the hell are you so bothered by somebody else? Simple message tonight, guys. Really simple. But, I think, 2026 is really going back to basics. And, even last week I was like, I like to be very philosophical, very in depth. It's like these messages are very simple because I feel like 2026 is we have to go back to basics. Go back to basics, purge, fragment a little bit to pick out what's not needed and get rid of it and move on and clean house. And so This is where we're at now, guys. And if you fail to realize this, you all will be left behind, because the majority of people are just want to do what's best for all, want to have more individual, say soul sovereignty of the soul, sovereignty as beings, but also collectively structured and protected. And, we could have it all, and we're going to have it all. Y'all better get ready for it, though. Because many people find comfort in discriminating against someone, comfort in these fake laws. They find comfort and security in that when they're actually putting themselves more into danger, more into chaos. And all this that we're experiencing now is all in the name of rule of law and justice. And how's that working? Okay, and it's not saying we don't have justice or rule of law. Like we said, the card pulled in the beginning about justice and being fair. You gotta be fair. Gotta be fair too. But it's not extreme. Okay, so the next chapter is a good chapter, but what we're doing to this year in this time frame now, it's what's going to propel it or stall it. But thankfully, I'm seeing a lot more people propel it. A lot more people are becoming more in tune. A lot of people are becoming more fearless of standing up, right? And so, and I think that once we do, then we realize we all have the same thing in common. We just want to live. Right? We just all want to just live. We all want to be happy. We all want peace. We all don't want chaos. We all just want to be able to survive easily. Same to the immigrants coming here. Are they all criminals? No. And everyone says they're all criminals is a fucking idiot. Are there criminals? Yeah. No one wants criminals here. I think everyone pretty much agrees that. I don't care what side you're on. We all agree. We don't want criminals here, and we don't want them here illegally, of course. But people have been here building a life, who ran here to survive and been here 10 years, raising a family, working their butts off, and then be yanked out of their homes. Is that the tone we want right now? Is that what we feel is fair? Is that necessary just because, they shouldn't be here illegally? I mean, is that the right tone? And so we got to stop at these extremes, and we got to stop saying it's all this way or it's all that way. There's an array, a spectrum of experiences and expressions of how things are. There's a diversity of how things are happening right now. It's not just one way. And that understanding of that diverse nature of creation, that diverse nature of how things are established and how things are going about, and how different life, every life is different. You might relieve yourself from a lot of biases, a lot of prejudices and anxieties, and so, and you would think that there's a lot of similarities to things, but as being a psychic and a reader for so long, you learn so much. You see so much things that you never thought you'd see before, especially as a medium, how people have passed on. I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe I'm seeing that. And so I've learned a lot of just what goes on. And you think every life, every person is the same? Nope. They may have similar struggles, but how they're going about it and what the reasons why is always so uniquely different. Right? Just like our DNA is uniquely different. It's a diversity of DNA. And it's not one DNA code or genetic that's exactly the same. There's always a difference, and that's diversity. And so, again, we have to understand, let's clean up the definition of diversity and get it out of your mind. Diversity means it's some like lunatic, extreme leftist with purple hair that just wants to act like a baby. That is not, that might be part of diversity, but that's not a representation of diversity. That's an extreme version of something. We got to be open to understand the uniqueness of every circumstance and situation. And in your own life, everything is unique and specific to a certain circumstance. Can't lump it all in, right? And so this will relieve us of a lot more balance, a lot more objectivity, a lot more clarity, a lot more intuitive discernment, actually, when we start practicing this. So we got to get ready for that, which means we got to prepare. We got to clean out old behaviors, old patterns, old beliefs, old things we've been holding on to, relationships, careers, right? It's time to clean it up now. It's time to simplify and go back to basics. All those cliches you heard as a kid, practice them. Because you can say it and it doesn't have any emotion behind it, but unless you understand and really know what it means to say those cliche statements like self-love or love thyself, do you really know what it means to really love thyself? It sounds simple when you say it, so we disregard it because it's simple. But you know what it means and can say it with conviction that you do. Many people just don't. They just heard the cliche so much. Oh yeah, I love myself. Okay, yeah, I care about myself. I do love it. But you're not exhibiting it though. But you're not putting love into yourself. Right? You're not living and let live and let be because you're scared about differences and because many people just think the world is all about them. So arrogant. But many people have been living this way. A lot of us, to a certain degree, have had that intertwined, embedded within us, which is why we have this current administration to really pluck that out of our soul existence. It's not all about us. Even I had periods about that where I got so wrapped up in that period of like, I got to do. And it's like I lost sight of like for other people for a period of my life. And I was miserable until I got back into thinking about what's my life, but also others as well. And that's where it became more balanced, back to satisfaction, back to understanding. So, and that's how we prepare. All right. So I'm not going to go too long-winded with that because it's simple, but I feel like it's just a reminder where we need to be at, kind of like an encouragement today, with that. So, okay, let's get into these questions here. Let me take a quick little break so I can get prepared because Nina's been in the middle of a move, so she doesn't have a message tonight. So she's been very busy the past few months. She just moved. So we're lucky we have her tonight with Wi-Fi. She's having an issue getting her Wi-Fi set up. So let me just run a quick little commercial as I take a breather and get these questions going in 2 seconds here.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.
All right, and make sure I didn't go end the live stream. All right, first question we got from Sydney. Good news. Let me pull this over here so I'm not looking to the side like this. God. I had to open a window. I'm like, freaking get hot. And because I moved my office around. I moved my desk on this corner over here versus back there. And right under the freaking vent, and the heat's on because, we keep it on. We keep the house on 70. But when it's like comes on, it's like here at the lights, I'm like, oh my God. So I had to open up a window. So that was my little, when I said I need a breather and refresher, I definitely meant it there. All right, Sydney, I can move forward with job search, new opportunities. Can you tap into current jobs energy and help me understand what's going on as it relates to my current role? The question is, I don't understand the question. Can you tap into current jobs energy? Oh, your current jobs energy. Got it. Sorry, I didn't read it correctly. Your current role there. I don't know. I just don't. The current job doesn't. I don't feel like you're being appreciated. I don't feel. I don't feel like you're compensated for what you bring. Right. So you might overperform, and then you're not getting enough compensation or leverage in return to succeed and to evolve. So that's what I feel with that. So I think it's good that you're moving forward and finding something different that will compensate you better. Because that's the first thing I heard was not compensated, not especially not getting paid, but like you're not getting appreciated for the things that you're doing, or even to move you forward. So it actually feels very scattered and chaotic there right now. The current job's energy feels like cross wires there. Of energy. So they might be restructuring or doing something, maybe thinking about getting rid of some other people, and it just feels scattered at the current place of employment. But not that you'll be caught in the crossfire, so to speak, maybe energetically. But I feel that you're not being appreciated enough to like leverage you to move you up. And that's what I don't like about it. So in that case, I'd be like, look for something else where you'd be better appreciated. So, and I'm stumbling on my words, guys. I have a little bit of a headache tonight, so bear with me. But yeah, there you go. It is. But again, it's not that you'd be caught in the crosswires of your job with position there, but I just feel like you need to be appreciated in a better environment. So I think that you should. It's good that you're moving forward your job search. As I think it is time for you to go. If you're there by March, I feel like March is a good time, perhaps, where Actually, March is next month. Keep forgetting we're in February. It's probably by next month you'll be moving on. So, which I'd say good. All right. Kathleen Prentice, optical nerve issue affecting left eye. Vision led to hospitalization, no clear diagnosis. Do you see healing in any spiritual perspective? After retiring from the airlines, what actions or timing support your what? I don't know. Was there two questions in there, or? Let me look at this eye thing. No, I mean, it's just like one of those, with the eye thing, it's just one of those things that happen. There's not actually a disease or illness. It's just, sometimes there's a strain or pressure that causes an optic issue. I feel like it would take time to like restabilize, I feel, with that. It doesn't feel permanent, but it feels like something that might be an issue consistently in the future, as far as like there might be some pain. You might have to be mindful of that as, the vision, gain some more vision back. So you'd have to attend to that, right? So it doesn't feel like permanent loss of vision in that sense. So I feel like it feels temporary. But I think a lot of this too, that you're not, spiritually, if we think of the left eye is the left-hand path. The left-hand path is actually, choosing to focus on, your struggles and your challenges instead of avoiding them. So you're actually not allowing yourself to see the details in the detriments, I would say. So you definitely have to, start not taking the fluffy way out, start taking let me confront and approach the challenges right now, because you're not seeing the lessons beyond, what's going on spiritually within yourself. You're trying to, address it and then happiness and love and light and positivity, and so that's kind of what the spiritual significance of that is. So just being desired, saying, I don't care if it's challenging or if it's uncomfortable. Let me just work through it. And then you realize when you're working through these things, whatever they are emotionally, intellectually, of course, we're not in a full reading right now, so I can't go specifically. Then you might start recognizing that, that you're starting to, it's not as bad as you thought it would be to confront or approach these things, So, so the vision part, I didn't sense pain. It just felt like sometimes there's pain that can contribute to that, like a migraine or some sort of tension that contributes to this vision thing. I didn't say that you had pain, but I'm saying that the vision, loss, will improve, and it feels like it's a temporary thing. It doesn't feel like it's like you might have issues, like I said, in the future. So please, maybe rewind back to what I said, because maybe you're not hearing what I said correctly. It might be something you have to be mindful of. But again, addressing issues like I said before. So rewind if you didn't hear that, because you're responding to things I don't, maybe you didn't hear me say. But I don't know what optical neuritis specifically is, but I can read what's affecting it and how it feels like it's, in time, the inflammation will cease, which will cause a bit more vision, to become better with your vision, in a sense, if you're working on it. But it feels stress related. If you really want to understand like the simplicity of like where it feels stress related, and the left eye to me is avoidance. You're avoiding something. You're just trying to like keep going and avoiding something. You're not seeing things clearly. That's what it feels to me. Had injury at 12 in car accident. I was injured. Yeah. So okay. So that makes sense then. So why you probably gain your vision back again, and then makes sense why it feels also where it's temporary, but also you'll have issues concurrently if you don't take care of it in the future. So yeah, I mean, so that makes sense. That makes perfect sense why you said that. So just be mindful of your stress though. And the spiritual reason, make sure you're seeing things that's not so fluffy duffy, that you're allowing yourself to look at the challenging things and confronting the challenging things in your own life. Okay, that's a spiritual perspective. So I'm just repeating myself now, so I'm gonna move on. And then the second question, I think, was that the two questions there? Okay, after retiring from the airlines, what actions or timing support my dharmic path, home, and community? I don't understand. The question is too broad. what timing support my dharmic path, home, and community? What actions? I mean, that's going to be very vague in that question. The actions, kind of what I was saying before. I mean, you got to clean up the emotional stuff right now. You definitely have to clip the emotional things. You definitely have to allow yourself to be around, people that support that evolution. Right? Because I just feel like you're hopping to like positive and not embracing the challenge and not embracing what's dark. So, and when I'm saying embracing dark doesn't mean saying I'm welcoming evil stuff. No, embracing the darkness that's there and saying, I accept what's here. Let's work on this. That's what we're talking about. So that's what we're talking about. This stuff about you're saying about dharmic path, home, and community, like you're putting too much emphasis on things that you shouldn't be putting so much emphasis on, because like your community and your environment should be very much indicative of what matches you. And I think that when you approach the dark side of what you've been maybe avoiding for a little bit and what you understand the dark is telling you, then you'd be like, this is the community I want to be around. This is the people I want to be around. So that question, I think you're putting too much emphasis on what you've asked on that second part. That it really is about embracing the challenges that you have, or the challenge that you were avoiding to look at. Saying, I'm going to look at these things. And you realize it's not so uncomfortable. And then things will grow. Then you start becoming more expressive in how you want to be around people. And you said your interests and preferences will change. And so I think right now that's the core. And then all the other stuff becomes like, okay, what's easy? Yeah. Finding community, finding a home, all that great stuff, all that nature. But right now, they're trying to get you to understand the duality. And the polarity. It's not just about positive. It's about there's negative too, but how we addressing that, because we can fuel more inspiration from that dark negative energy. So a lot of people who use dark energy, and they will infiltrate darkness and bad things of people because they suck from that energy to get what they want from it. So that's very selfish and it just evil in that sense. But what we do is, when we have these negative experiences, we suck the energy from negative experiences, say, I'm going to turn myself and blossom into this version. That's the thing you have to be focusing on right now. So again, I'm spending way too much time to explain this because the questions are so vague, but the details will be more so in the specifics of the nature, but that's the essence that you should be really focusing on. That's the one thing they're saying that you're missing. And guys, when it comes to these questions, don't be so vague in general that way, because some of these questions would need a whole session, and so sometimes we were lumping all these aspects into one. It's like, that's home, community, that's so much specific information. So the best I can do is give an umbrella of it and say, okay, bam, this is the core of that. Let me get log into PayPal. But I also feel like you're irritating yourself. Like you're overthinking things, or you're thinking the wrong way. It's like you're irritating yourself a little bit too. I have to throw that out there too. Because a level of irritation, you might be hounding something in the wrong fashion, and that might be irritating the soul a little bit too. So keep it simple. Say, what can I heal on? What can I resolve? And I'm just speaking more as I'm trying to log in here. What can I heal on? And you ask yourselves, what are there things I've been kind of avoiding? And let's look at those things. That's simple. And I feel like that will just open up a whole line of seeing of a spiritual path and the essences of walk of life and community. All that stuff will just unfold so much naturally. And that's where attraction really, I always talk about, where attraction really happens. When you're at essence, you just start attracting naturally people, or being attracted naturally to people. That just is a very organic experience. Okay. Moving on. Last is a card pull. And that's what they want to say, just generally speaking. A lot of times you guys need to be more specific, not to me, but in your lives, and saying, what is the specific thing holding back that I can focus on? Sometimes like, how do I get all this in my life? How do I change all this in my life? And that's not a way of going about where you're going to find clarity. What's the most important thing right now? It's kind of what I was saying in the beginning, right? About like getting ready, getting prepared, and kind of fragmenting things so you can look at things individually. So you guys need to start thinking that way. When you're just like, bro, I got to do all this. What about all of that? Right? That's going to just keep you not so clear, because, how life works is we're going to have to like pick one at a time, or sometimes there's a parallel of things that work that we do concurrently. And, and so we got to simplify in that way for ourselves, make it easier so we can see what's going on, But sometimes pulling the plug is on things could be fearful before you do, and I'm talking general. But pull the plug, it's a release. Sometimes pulling the plug on something is just like, oh my god, I was fearful of doing it, but gosh, it feels good that I did. All right, so all right, last but not least, Stephanie Brosti, and this will be the last one. Nina, if you could just say I'm closing down the readings because I got a headache today. I just got a little bit headachy. So readings are closed. Did I just get rid of my overlays? Sorry, guys. Readings are closed. I've been doing $5. So this is for Stephanie Brosti. I think I said it right. Sorry if I didn't. The Moon card. So, and with the Six of Swords, as well as the Death card. So this is saying to me, one, there's a lot of things. Perhaps Stephanie, you are also in the moment or perspective of kind of like getting down into, like, I don't want to say secrets, but things that perhaps that maybe you kept secret, things that you kept within. I feel that resurfacing. And that's also coming from with a transformation with a Death card, that there will be transformation as well because of this. So you are in that emotional state. And I also feel like there will be some sort of a trip or a move either forecasted this year for next year or this year too. So there's gonna be a lot of movement, a lot of change in that way. So if you're feeling like things are resurfacing, good. As I was saying in the beginning, this is part of that recalibration process. So allow this. I also feel like within people around you, things are gonna be coming to light for people around you. So maybe people have been dishonest coming around you as well. So yes, and that's, again, a transformative phase for you right now. And yes, Six of Swords is also saying too that you'll be some sort of either taking a trip, overseas trip, or travel, or even projecting a move for next year or something of that nature. So, so that seems like it'll be a lot of change, And Lisa, Felicia, Lisa, I will text you because the questions you asked are too extensive and I need more specifics on the question. It's just, so I have to text you after the live show, and I'll do it that format, Felicia, because it's too extensive of a question that I need some specifics on for you to help me with that, and I'll text you. We'll do it through text. Okay, Felicia, if you heard me here. So, and then I'll get back to you in the morning because the questions are so long to say. And I'll definitely need each specific one, and not all is predictable on it. So the way the question is, so you'll say, what about this opportunity? So like, give me the opportunity so I can read them instead of saying, which one is he going to get? Which one am I going to get? Well, I don't know the options. So, I'll have to go one through one, on that. And just say yes, no, maybe, and or unpredictable. Because another thing too, guys, is not everything's predictable. Not every time you go get a job is there a prediction. I can only let you know where they're at now with decision, unless it's an aligned job opportunity that's like you're intended to be there. That'd be predictable. But many people's like, am I gonna get this job? It's like, well, I can only read what the energy is here now if it's not a destined type of thing. I'm like, oh, they haven't reviewed your application yet, so I don't know. But I feel like there's another contender, right? Then there'll be more of those types of informations. So not everything's predictable, guys. So it wouldn't be clear for everybody who watches this that they understand that on these little movements in life. But if they've already picked you, I'll be like, oh yeah, you got it. They picked you. And I can read depending on when the question is asked. So, okay, guys. So again, very simple. My final thoughts is keep it simple, stupid. Go back to basics. And again, rewatch the collective read and understand that, it's all about growth. And we are in a better cycle, energetic cycle now. Let's embrace it. Let's enjoy it. Let's understand, what is the tone that we need to be in, and start asking, it's going to sound cheesy and cliche, but it's true. Ask your heart. Does my heart really feel this? My head might feel this. Does my heart really feel this? My head is really strong and adamant about that, but does my heart feel that way though too? And this way you can sync the heart and the mind and understand my heart feels this, and yeah, my mind might be correct up with this, but it needs a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? It needs a little bit of that. So, we can find a balance, because we don't have to be all brain or all heart either. Sometimes we're all heart and we don't think rationally. Let's be rational with our heart, and that's going to bring the balance. But simplify. And so many people think they're coming from the heart politics, and they're coming from their head. There's people I've seen people I know are close to me, friends and families, that say things. I'm like, I can't believe I'm hearing someone I care about say this. They don't really feel that. I can't believe I'm hearing this, right? And so they're just here, and they think it's there because they feel this like angst and whatever. And it's like their heart doesn't feel that. So we got to ask ourselves, how can we bring that together? So and we all will come together. When you bring it together, we all come together. And that's the whole point of everything, is coming together, right? And to be able to exist and just enjoy the fact that everyone's different. I can't believe I'm having to say this in 2026, enjoying the fact that we're all different. We're all different. And that's what makes things cool. If we're all the same, how fucking boring is that? When I go to places that people are talking about the same crap, I'm like, ugh, get me out of here. When I walk in an environment, you have this person, that person, this one with the weird hair, that one's this. Oh, it's so much more fun. It's enjoyable. So if you need people who are around you who are all like you, you're full of yourself, and you don't love yourself enough, because most people are full of themselves, don't love themselves enough. So they have to be surrounded by everything of themselves to get themselves to like feel that love. And so just love yourself, because the more you do, the more you start loving other people. It's that stupidly simple, right? Can we keep it simple and back to basics for now? And understand your challenges in your lives, guys, are there to help you to find more of this. So when we embrace the challenges, we realize it's not so difficult after all. As long as we're just like, I'm going to work on this. All right. Anyways, guys, I am tired. I have a headache. I don't know what the planet's saying today. I don't know, but I'm going to go rest and relax. I love every one of you guys. You're all amazing. And I always say you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? I am going to take next week off, but I will be back the following week. As you know, I always take like 1 week off a month, which will be next week. So I can gather a really good, some sort of night. We have to do Psychic Game Night again, because I want to do it once a month. So maybe the next will be Psychic Game Night. I'll prepare for, because I want to do that once a month with you all. So I'll probably do that not next week, the week after that one. So we'll have some fun on that night too, and some reads, all great stuff. February's open. I booked, so ScottCruiseBM.com, book a session there as well. And I'm going to leave you guys with Save the Future. Of course, it's a new song, so you might have to hear it a few times. We played it a few times, but it's a nice way to close out so you guys can chat to Kathy in the room. And I will see you all soon, and catch us on LOL next week. If you didn't catch LOL last week, it's there unrecorded on yesterday. So stumbling on my words because I'm ready to get out of here. But I love you all. You're all amazing. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Love you. Oh, I have to locate the file. Give me a second here so I can locate the file. I moved everything, so now it's supposed to go smoothly into... It's supposed to go smoothly right into that, but it didn't. But here we go. All right. I think we have it right there. Good night.
But now we're scorched in the flames from morning.
Scott Cruz Save the Future, available on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon Music.